What's my take on Berry Berry Berry? I would say it's pretty good. That's about it. Wait, why hasn't the video ended yet? I guess I could explain why the game is good. I do want to start out with explaining what the gameplay is about and a little bit about the story before we jump right in. Berry 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 is a first-person incremental game about growing berries and tossing them down a hole. After tossing the berries down the hole, the player earns money. The more money the player makes, the more upgrades there are to unlock. There are secrets as the player moves forward in the game. The player can buy upgrades that can assist in breaking walls. The player then discovers puzzles and tapes around the map. When the player starts out, they get a short tutorial teaching you the gameplay loop, throwing the berries down the hole. Fairly simple. The day cycle is fairly short, and once the lights go out, the player needs to collect their coins on the ground and then go to sleep. After sleeping, the player is given options to spend their money on upgrades. If you want to know more about the story itself, please play the game, as it is 100% worth your time. Now, let's jump into my thoughts on the game. I will be spoiling the story and the puzzles at this point, so please play the game for yourself before you move forward in the video. The game is really fun if you're a fan of incremental games. The gameplay is really addicting, but after a while it gets pretty boring, especially when you have a lot of money and you're spending days working on growing the hole or completing puzzles. There were days that I would spend just swallowing up props around the map and not making any money at all. I will say some of the puzzles are confusing. I am not that smart, especially when it comes to common sense, but there were some stars I genuinely could not get without looking it up. One star was out by the last wall, and I genuinely did not know what to do with it. I swallowed everything on the map, but the star did not make itself available. To achieve that star, you're supposed to bring the hole towards it and see an invisible wall. I genuinely would not have gotten that without looking it up. One of the puzzles that I had a hard time with was the computer password. It was something with the mismatch, throw the berry onto the puzzle and you'll find a picture. You're supposed to match the picture to that other picture. It was a lot, but I genuinely did not understand that was for the computer. And then also there was one picture I was like, I have no idea what this is for. I don't play pool. It was something about pool. And it was Q or something like that, C-U-E. I never actually got that without looking it up. Other than that, though, I thought the puzzles were really fun, and I felt satisfied solving them by myself. Moving on to the story, I think the story is pretty good, and I was glad that the horror aspect was not that scary. I'm someone who doesn't handle horror well, but the game built tension really well, especially for the endings. Colleen Ballinger, Donna Bellinger was a pretty good villain, and I feel that her story could be similar to how other TV show creators feel when their shows are taken off the air. Except for the murder and arson parts, of course. Working in show business isn't kind to people, and if your show is an instant hit, then your show is most likely getting canceled or taken off the air. Donna's character, Miss Rainbow, reminds me of the modern-day Miss Rachel, with how she talks to the player in the sweet ways, but obviously not when she's talking as Donna. The only jump scare that got me throughout the whole game was when I was reading the news stories off the computer in the office, and the day ended. After I was finishing reading, Miss Rainbow was standing at the door staring at me, and I genuinely jumped. You're so used to Miss Rainbow sitting on top of the office that when she moves, you're not expecting it. Overall, I thought the game was worth my money, and I enjoyed the gameplay loop for the most part. The gameplay loop gets pretty boring towards the end of the game, but that's to be expected. I would rate this game a 7.5 out of 10. I urge you to check out this game, and if you like the video, please give it a like and subscribe. I want to start making game review videos as I want to shine a light on smaller game creators. Even if I'm a small YouTube creator myself, I think it's worth it in the end. Thanks so much for watching.